Greetings everybody, welcome to Retrocore Classic Gaming Music. I am your host DJ Sexy Lips, bringing you the hits of yesterday gaming style. Today's show is probably going to be a little long as the requests have piled up. Filmed the rest of Kevin Larson's request from last show. I got the tracks he wanted, another winner for the Guess the Song, and just other requests. So expect a long show. This is episode number 20. So this show's getting up there in age. And I plan to have it around for a long time. Just so you people know, I know this show's very popular and I appreciate all the fans who listen. And here we go. Let's kick it off with Breath of Fire 3. That track was called Guild from Breath of Fire 3, of course. Staple here at Retrocore. We start every show off with a Breath of Fire 3 track for the new listeners who don't know. Coming up next is, I'm really shocked that I haven't played much tracks from Super Mario Kart, followed by just a couple, got some Twisted Metal. It's just random this show, because in the middle, like I said, it's full of requests, so I didn't do like a theme. Like the last show is mostly Nintendo music. I didn't do anything like that, so here we go, people. Super Mario Kart, the original on the SNES, or if you're smart, SNES. this off. Rainbow Road is a Mario Kart staple. It has showed up in every single Mario Kart after that one. It does change, though. It's not the same road, but the name is the same. Followed by Stage Theme from Adventures of 3D WorldRunner. That is a Nintendo game, and a fun fact about that game is that Square actually made the game, but Acclaim produced it. So you'll see Acclaim's name on the cartridge. I have the cartridge. You won't see Square's name until you actually turn on the game. So, yeah. Coming up next, another Nintendo track, followed by Mario World track, and then that promised Twisted Metal 2 track. So, stay listening, people. I don't know. I'm sorry. It's early morning, and I'm still waking up. Slowly, I'll get there. I'm your host, Sexy Lips. first song there was from Airwolf, a NES game, followed by Haunted music from Super Mario World. If you want a little bit of lyrics with that, when I was younger, you know how it goes. Do, 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 do. Well, I used to go, we are so spooky. So, you can add to it. And lastly was the Paris Monumental Disaster from Twisted Metal 2. If it sounded like Frere Jacques or whatever, yeah, I get it, Paris, France, yeah. Okay. Coming up next is the request from Kevin Larson, who didn't get the Chrono Cross songs last time. So, to finish filling his request, here are the Chrono Cross tracks. Okay, Kevin, for some unknown reason, those tracks didn't play in the program that I used to record with. The first one did, Scars of Time, which was just, the other two you sent me either, I don't know why, they say they're MP3, and they still won't play. Obviously, maybe they sent wrong, so, again, you might have to resend me those. Coming up next is a couple tracks from, Werewolf. Sorry about that, but coming up next is Werewolf, requested by Jacob Nielsen. He just said to play a couple tracks, and I can do that. So, Werewolf on the Nintendo. Here we go. stage theme as a human, stage theme as a werewolf, and then boss theme. All from the game Werewolf for you, Jacob Nelson. There's your request. I hope you enjoyed it. Coming up next is the winner from Guess the Song last show. Yes, we had a winner. His name is Brian Dahlquist. I believe that's how you pronounce it. The track in question was Alien's Lair from Contra, the last level music from the game. So Brian requested some little Nemo tracks. So I'm going to play some of those. And I did request Snake Rattle and Roll. And I'm sorry, Brian, but I do not have that soundtrack. So if you want to pick a couple more or whatever, just get a hold of me. So here we go. Little Nemo the Dream Master on the Nintendo. Okay, first off, he requested Nightmareland, which I looped twice because it was only 18 seconds long, followed by the boss theme and the prologue, all from Little Nemo the Dream Master. Yes, I played Prologue before, but this is a request, so... And you know what? Stuff's gonna get played again eventually, so there we go. Okay. I get into Andrew Finch's request of Super Mario Sunshine. Yeah, I know it's not that retro, but I do like the music in it too, so I'm going to play it. It's time for plug time. Check out Sober&M at GameSociety.podomatic.com. Send in 360 reviews at GameSocietyRadio at hotmail.com. Listen to our original podcast, Retrocore, where we review retro games and anything, really, at retrocore.podomatic.com. Also, check us out at vagary.tv. You can find Retrocore and the music show there if you're so inclined to. Okay, now that that's all out of the way, it's time for Andrew Finch's plugs. Andrew Finch's requests, and these equal the last of the requests for this show. I'm going to play 3 tracks from Mario Sunshine, and afterwards it'll be a new Guess the Song. So, let's get it going, people. Delfino, Plaza, Follow Beach, and Platforms Aplenty, which is the bonus round music. The last one, Platforms Aplenty, reminds me of Rugrats, if anyone remembers Rugrats. Especially the old ones, how they did the shooby-doo-wop stuff, or Doug, maybe, I don't know. I'm rambling. But there you go, Andrew Finch, and that completes the reviews, or requests for this show. I guess I kind of lied about it being long. I don't know what I was thinking. I need to quit saying that, 'cause sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Who cares how long it is? We'll just go and play some tunes, But coming up next is Guess the Song. Yes, it's that time again. I'm glad somebody got the last one. So, here's a new one. Let's see. I'm just going to play it. It's obviously going to be a Nintendo track. So, here we go. Guess this song. Yeah, so what is that song, people? Let me know. I want to give a clue, but it's just too damn easy. I'm not gonna do it. So yeah, guess that song, people. I hope you enjoy. Let's see. The next songs, a couple of them, are from a Nintendo game. I stumbled upon the soundtrack. It's from a Japanese-only game. Akumajou, Boku, Dracula, Kun. I guess you can say. Pardon my Japanese. But I find these tracks to be, like, they're really good Nintendo tracks. They're good tunes. So here's some Japanese Nintendo music for you, people. I'm your host, DJ Sexy Lips, bringing you the hits yesterday, gaming style. Now those are some jigging Nintendo music. You could dance a jig to those tunes. I No, those are some. I really like those Nintendo music. That's some good production there of 8-bit music, I guess you could say. Um, First song was Stage 1. Second song was Stage 2, Part 1. So, gotta keep in mind, back then, people didn't think that these, soundtracks were going to take off. They didn't think they were good. They were just filler, for the game. And they didn't name them half the time. They were just Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3, or theme, blah, background music, blah. So, yeah, stuff wasn't named too well back then. So, alright, people, it's the end of the show, which means it's time for Then and Now. For the new people that listen, it's a segment where I play a track of old and try to find a remix, an OC remix, or just somewhere a remix of the newer version of it. So, this Then and Now is from Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Yes, you might be wondering where the Sonic segments went. Well, I believe I played most of the good stuff, so, I mean, there's still more. It might come back, but here's your Sonic for you, in Then and Now form. I'm going to play the Ice Cap Zone. Then I'm going to play a OC remix, which is on the front page. If you like it so much, you can go download it yourself. So, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 Ice Cap Zone, followed by a remix, OC remix, so, by Willrock. So, I hope you enjoy the show. Send in song suggestions, emails, participate and guess the song, and send in your suggestions to retrocore@hotmail.com. I have been your host, DJ Sexy Lips, bringing you the hits of yesterday, gaming style.